Hello everyone, it's Gil from AxLabs. We're going to go through all the project updates that we had in the new ecosystem. So to start, we attended Consensus in Texas end of April, and actually it was a tremendous success, as all of the community already knows. So the preparations in April and a bit before April was very intense, especially because we AxLabs were involved in together with COZ and Neo as a whole in the one band activation, and this consumed quite some of our time. But I think it paid off because we had so many people contacting us and asking questions about our technology, about how this thing was done actually, that it amazingly paid off. So we have to congratulate everyone for the great success that we had this year in Consensus in our booth. And we are very thankful as well to be part of this experience in the conference. We were already in Consensus last year in 2022. It was great, but nothing compared to this year. So going to the next project, we have like Neo3j, as everyone knows, and actually we had two releases, the release 3.20 and 3.21. We had like bug fixes, improvements made by our community. So for example, we have improved handling of placeholders in smart contracts. So let me show you here. This is like the Neo3j page in GitHub. So we have here like releases, and as you know, we always put a very good and extensive change logs that you can understand. We had some breaking changes, as I mentioned, but everything here is explained, what you have to change and where you have to change. So in usual, all the examples in our website, also in our GitHub repository are all up to date. So if you go to the Neo3j examples or the boilerplate contracts, they already include all the recent changes made by this release. So like also another very good point is that we started a FAQ section in the Neo3j docs because we realized that in this core there are recurring questions. People always ask the same type or kind of family of questions, and we decided to come up with it. So yeah, some of the examples of what people ask is what is the difference between witness rules and in the smart contract permissions, or for example, what RPC used to relay a transaction that I will pay for, and which ones are just for reading. So this is kind of and also for witness checks, etc. So we decided to here in the neo3j.io website, we decided to go down here. I think you can see here actually. You click it, and then there is like FAQ, and then we're trying to add as more questions and more answers as people ask for. Not necessarily only about Neo3j. This is a bit more about the Neo ecosystem. But of course, since we get these questions because people are using Neo3j, we decided to edit this FAQ here in Neo3j website. So like now going to the grant shares project. So what is the state of grant shares? Well, the first thing is that the treasury was refilled with additional 250,000, but this 250,000 USD was split between gas and Neo. So if you go to the grant shares app, you can see like here the treasury, and then you see like all the amounts, etc., etc. Here we go. It took a while to compute, but yeah, you can see how much we have currently, how much gas, etc., how much we spent. So this is nothing new. I'm just showing this that people transparently access and see what is the state of our treasury. But coming back, we also had 8 new proposals created, which is awesome. This was a bit of the effect after consensus because a lot of people approach us and ask like, how can I submit something? It doesn't make if I submit in this topic. And one new proposal was accepted recently. The topic is not exactly, but education for Neo. And we'll be following up because AxLabs was the one endorsing this proposal. So we'll be following up with them, their progress, etc., for a successful proposal implementation. So another thing that I have to mention is that the DAO members, the current DAO members, decided to remove one inactive member of the DAO. This was because some DAO members had I mean, the DAO members were kind of imbalanced in terms of how voting and endorsements. So we decided to make a proposal to remove the most inactive member of our DAO, and that was executed. And I think like now we have 8 members, which are the workload is a bit more even across all of them. So we made quite some maintenance and facilitation actually in the during this time. We fixed some bugs that was kind of on the way, and improved the behavior of our blockchain monitor system in backend, so that this improved. How can I say? If something happened, in the backend, or if something happened in the blockchain, and we're gonna know immediately. So this monitoring is very important for grant shares. Also, we facilitated the proposal process. We had several calls with grantees or potential grantees, and we are always trying to follow up with them, that basically taking their hand and going to the next step, and gain providing more confidence to also to the grantees, that they can feel empowered to submit and to put their proposal on chain. We had also another session of the Shield Your Proposal, but this time actually we decided to not do in Twitter Spaces, because we realized that for certain topics that are more complex, we need a presentation. And in this time, we decided to go to a YouTube stream, where the presenter can like put his light on, and go through the topic, and then questions are asked in the YouTube stream chat. So we had this presentation by Professor Nicola Dimitri, part of the Schiller Proposal episode 7. If you didn't watch it yet, you go to this link here, the p.axlabs.net, and basically this p.axlabs.net is a preview index of all the videos hosted by AxLabs about Schiller Proposal. So you can click it, and then you're gonna be redirected to the correct platform. As I mentioned, some of them were made in the Twitter Spaces platform, but now it's I mean, we are trying YouTube live streaming. Let's see how it goes in the next one. And now I have to make some, not announcement, but prepare the community for something new that we're trying to roll out in our ecosystem, which is called One Click Node. One Click Node will be another project by AxLabs. Will be a smaller project, but something that I feel that it's kind of missing in our ecosystem. And well, this is not an announcement, but it's breaking news, because it's the first time that we're talking about that, or preparing the community for this topic. So we are building, what is One Click Node? We're building a service to easily spin up a new node with different configurations and features. So I don't want to disclose so much information here before the official announcement that will come in Twitter. So that's what I can tell. But the target audience will be mainly devs, people that wants to create a new node and testnet quickly, only for a dApp. Because of course you can use the public new nodes there, but well, you don't control availability, you don't control if the plugins, you lack a bit of control. So usually dApps, they have their own, at least for production, they have their own new nodes. Like for example, grant shares. We decided to not go for public ones, but we decided to have a new node in-house, because then we can control things. But I mean, the target audience varies. It's more for, we target more for devs, but Web3 newbies, people that want just to try something, or maybe Web3 native users, meaning that they want to like do some research, and they want to have access in a machine with all the plugins. So that's it varies. But a key differentiators in our point of view compared to other providers is that price and usability. So price should be kept to a minimum, and usability should be very, very, very easy to bootstrap. And for this project, for One Click Node, we are hiring an intern, only for the summer, of course, for this 4 month, for the first time in history in AxLabs. So I hope that this project will be a success, and we'll be talking more about it once we get closer to the release, in the next couple of weeks and months. So that's it, folks. Thanks for your time, and see you soon in the next project updates. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, this is Tyler Adams with COZ, providing our updates for the community call for June. So I think everybody's probably aware what we've been working on pretty heavily or pushing is these rings right here. So you can see a bunch of the different colors. We have the consensus ones kind of in the bottom. And then these are the new ones for Tribeca that we just did. So we just hosted an auction event for the Shadow Brother Sunday movie, which is now an Oscar candidate as well. That went pretty well. People were able to get a Tribeca branded one band ring and use that to bid on a bunch of art, and that art also had the same technology in it. So this was kind of the proof of concept. So it's a little rough around the edges, but you can see this has the 35 millimeter film encased in it, and then this is a wax cast bronze piece of art that actually has the public key cast into the frame, so it can be visibly inspected as well. And then another thing that we've added on top is that now the items can be tap scanned. When you tap scan these, they do a lookup and they take you to Dora for the NFT page. And that's where a lot of the other features will start to show up. Another thing that we've been working on in that space is these guys. So this is actually a metal one band. This one is brass cast as well. And it also has, as you can see, the public key cast into it around the outside. So each one is unique. Here's another one, for example. Right. Let's see. We've also been working on some additional utility for the consensus activation, like Lizard Loot, where people can use their Lizard NFT to loot some chests to get some additional rewards that have been sponsored by some of the community projects. Let's see. Moving on to props. So we are in the process of updating all of the props smart contracts, so they will be split out into their own repos with their own SDKs that'll be published to NPM. We've started doing that actually as of consensus, but we need to complete that with some of the puppets and the dice and things like that. One of the big enablers there that we were waiting on was CPM. So CPM was quietly released a couple months ago, and there have been a lot of updates now to it, which allow us to basically build out a full project with a package manager for contract development. So we're starting to now propagate that through our other projects. If you are interested in looking at that before it's fully released, let me know and we can get you access. That's something that Eric has been working on pretty tirelessly. It's kind of his baby. Let's see, another update. And this one's kind of a big one, and it's been a long time coming. We are, in the coming weeks, going to be hosting a BOA Day. And that's going to be to celebrate the formal promotion of BOA to version 1. That's been something that has we probably should have done a long time ago. I think we're finally at the point where we're very comfortable in the stability of the code. We've been running like code audits and testing on it, and we're at the point now where we're pretty comfortable and happy with where it's at. So we'll be promoting it. Alongside BOA Day, we're going to have a number of events, one of which will include a smart contract with some prizes. So we hope you guys will all participate in that. Obviously, it will be more developer focused. It will involve working with BOA in some way, but I'm not going to give out how. We also, with the Essential Suite, so this is like Dora and the two wallets. So for Neon Wallet Mobile and Neon Wallet Desktop, we've published the private net support, which is something that has been requested for a while now. So now people can use the majority of the wallet features with like NeoExpress, for example. You can sign transactions through Wallet Connect. You can view your tokens. It's pretty helpful from a development perspective. I know Harry has a couple requests for features for the wallet as well, primarily like the importing and supporting the NeoExpress configuration files for like private keys, for example. Those will show up in a future release. I think another important thing to announce on the updates, although it's not really a tooling side of things, is that we're going to open the COZ Discord server. So that'll happen in a few days from when I'm recording this. We've already started to invite some people into it, but for the first time, we've historically run. We haven't had a public Discord server. It's always just been the Neo Discord server, and we've just had our entire team there. A few years ago, we moved to have our own private Slack server, and then we moved to Discord, and we had a private Discord server. That will have a public area in a few days where everybody can join and have access to more regular COZ specific updates. I welcome you all to join. We'll hopefully have some fun events and things like that going as well on the server. That's it for my updates. Thanks, everybody.
G'day, Dean from Neo News Today here. Just going to give you our development updates for April and May. So first of all, gas bots. So we resolved several high priority items that RevParsec found in the code audit, which was good. As a team, we spent a lot of time working on consensus with Neo and the rest of the community. As part of that, we ran a campaign at the event. We onboarded over 100 people into GasBot and distributed 132 gas worth of a bunch of different tokens in the ecosystem. While people were waiting in line to get the one band, we were going through and we had QR codes so they could join the Discord, use the giveaway function to try and win these tokens, and we also had links to the different project Discord servers and things like that, so they could then proceed into those communities and learn more about the projects whose tokens they just won. So that was quite good. We also made responses to the giveaway claims ephemeral, so it wasn't making all the channels really noisy. So that's just a little quality of life update. In progress for GasBot, the trivia feature is almost ready to go. So this is going to allow users to create giveaways based on participants creating the correct answer. So I can give you a quick demo here in beta. So basically it'd be something like this. You would go trivia, create, and then you choose how many rounds. For this I'm just going to go 1 round, one winner, and the reward is going to be 0.1 gas, but you'd be able to set that to whatever you want. So you'd send that command, GasBot would think for a little bit. It will go ahead and set up the kitty per se, so you can go ahead and create your questions. So just give that 1 second. There you go. All right, so now I have to go through and create the questions. So if I had multiple questions, I might do this multiple times, but and do trivia question. The question is going to be, I don't know, what is Luca's number? If you know, you know. Correct option is 77. Incorrect option is 7. And let's just add a couple more. 17. And another incorrect option, 27. It's going to create my question. So I've got a new question registered. And then when I'm ready to start the giveaway, start the trivia, I'll go start, trivia, trivia start. That would start the event, and then people could go and answer the questions, right? So the correct answer is 77. So that would then register successfully, and then it would pay out the winners when all the winners have guessed the correct question. Sorry. So that's a little demo. We're still working on it. There's still a few little bugs to go, but another useful community engagement tool, where different projects can get tokens into the hands of their community members and have fun little games for them and things like that to participate in. So I think that will be quite good. All right, we'll come back to that. Let's see here. We've added a new terms and conditions flow with everything going on in the world of blockchain. We had, some legal reviews just to make sure we're all on the straight and narrow. We have added a terms and conditions, so that will be coming through shortly. We're going to be adding support for Neo. We don't support that at the moment because it's indivisible. We started simple first, but that is coming. And we're also looking at integrating NFT support, which will allow communities to manage access to giveaways, trivia, things like that, depending on whether they have a certain NFT in their wallet. So just another way of creating engagement, and some level of exclusivity in some regards to these communities. In regards to NDAP, so the advanced gas calculator went live since our last update. So now you can calculate theoretical gas earnings based on what council candidate you want to vote for. So you can say I've got 1,000 Neo and I'm voting for whoever it is, and it will tell you what your gas rewards will be. We also added B Neo to the advanced gas calculator as well, so you can also choose to see what the difference is if you use B Neo, and then. We have done SEO improvements, including site speed optimizations, a lot of stuff to help it rank better, stuff with the slugs, URLs, things like that. We did Twitter API updates, NDAP posts stats to Twitter, and with all the changes there was on Twitter's end, there was some work there, and then just general bug fixes and UI improvements. In the pipeline, we have more advanced gas calculator enhancements, so we're always trying to improve the estimations. We also have this graph coming, which is not in the live version. This is on the staging version at the moment. So that will be there. That will be useful. There's an NFT collections page, which will allow users to browse the NFT collection data, very similar to our existing token page. So you'll be able to see things like the floor price or the last sold price, things like that, what the population is on different collections. And we're still looking at adding swaps via Flamingo. So yeah, that's all of it. That's what we've been up to. That's what's coming up. If you got any questions, feel free to reach out, and let's make the next couple of months good also.
Hello everyone, I'm Bazamile, and I'd like to give you a brief update on our recent work. In our last meeting, our team made significant improvements and optimizations to our mobile wallet and extension wallet. Some of the key enhancements include dark mode, a completely redesigned interface, simplified functionality, more secure private key storage, and improved password lifecycle management. Yes, it's a major release, and since its launch, we have received positive feedback from users and developers while also addressing some reported issues. For example, we received feedback that the process of managing unified passwords was cumbersome and time-consuming. To address this, we have optimized the password mode, allowing for real-time validation. We have also resolved some specific cases that caused abnormal behavior on the extension page, among other improvements. Additionally, we conducted testing on the NeoSwift SDK code and documented some issues on GitHub. Recently, we received a security audit from Red4 SEC for the extension wallet. We take this very seriously, and the team has already completed the necessary fixes. We are currently testing the updated version, will be released in the coming days. That's a summary of our current work. Thank you.
April is gone, May is done, spring is over for 2023, so let's take a look at what NeoSPCC has done. And we start with NeoFS. We have made 2 releases of the node, delivering all of the previously made changes. The biggest thing delivered in 0.36.0 is internal consensus node. But both releases have a number of important fixes, so if you are playing with NeoFS in some way, make sure you're using the latest. Both devenv and AIO were upgraded as well. After a lot of testing and preparation, we have finally released contracts 0.17.0 and have upgraded the NeoFS mainnet network to this version. This means that NeoFS sidechain is notary enabled now, and this in turn means that if you see NeoFS working, then the notary subsystem HiNeoGo works as well. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, please refer to the legendary 1573 issue of the Neo project. For us, this makes the system more robust, responsive, and easier to maintain because currently we have both mainnet and testnet using basically the same configuration. We have released two new SDK versions, RC8 and RC9. You, of course, should be using the latest one. And we have delivered a pretty substantial number of changes in each of them, simplifying our APIs as much as we could. And now we're planning for RC10 that will bring some pool changes into it, simplifying this interface as well and making it more consistent with the client interface. And that's going to be the biggest change before we declare it stable and then releasing the 1.0. As we have said previously, we are currently working on making NeoFS contracts deploy and update with NeoFS inner ring nodes, deployment and upgrades. So this work turned out to be a little more tougher than we originally expected. So we are changing the release schedule for it. It's not going to be included in 0.37.0 release, but it's likely to be ready by the time we're going to release 0.38.0. SendFS Neo.org website front-end part became public late May, so if you are interested in how it works, then you can now take a look at it as well. Previously we have released the backend part of it, and now you can also take a look at the front end, which actually was reworked quite substantially because we have fixed some things and fixed the engine behind it to React. And now it's also deployed to the SendFS Neo.org website, and you can take a look at the source of it. There are times when we add something to the protocol, and there are also times when we are removing something. One of the things recently removed was the notaryless support, and it's gone for obvious reasons. All of the networks we run are notary enabled now, and we no longer need it, and this code wasn't really tested for quite some time, so it was a pleasant experience deleting it. Now we are removing subnet support from the SDK, and SDK RC9 actually have already removed this part. And the next thing is we will be removing it from the node. And this feature wasn't really used on a public network, so I don't think it's going to be missed by someone. And actually, it turned out that most of the problems that this feature tried to solve can be solved in another way. So we will be rolling out some new features, replacing things that subnet provided, but currently we're trying to slim down the protocol to make it easier to support the thing that we have. Time to talk NeoGo side of things. We are monitoring closely the developments in C# community regarding the core protocol and new features that are going to be part of the 3.6 release. We have implemented all of them, and NeoGo technically is compatible with the master branch of the C# node. So we have also implemented, of course, the zero knowledge proof extensions that are going to be a part of the next release. And while waiting for the 3.6 to be released, we have also fixed some bugs of NeoGo that we, of course, have. And we have also implemented some CLI improvements to make the node a little more usable in some cases, like providing some simpler way to provide configuration to the node and make some commands interface a little more user-friendly. So this also is going to be a part of the next NeoGo release. Another cool thing implemented in NeoGo during this time frame is ability to auto-generate code that extracts events from application logs and notifications and transforms them into some proper Go types and makes them available for the backend to process. So This simplifies interactions with RPC considerably because you no longer have to manage these stack items and these stack item types manually. It's all done automatically just based on the contract manifest. That's the only thing you need to get these wonderful auto-generated RPC bindings that are extended now with this additional data. While we were working on the previously mentioned feature, we have also noticed that our compiler can be improved. And we have previously never tried to auto-derive the notification types from the code, but in many cases it can be done, and this allows you to omit the event specification from the configuration file that we currently are requiring for every contract to have. So this currently is implemented in additional compiler option, guess event type, that you can use and just basically drop the event specification from configuration and let it be derived from the code itself. We've got a pretty big to-do list for NeoGo in the form of Neo project issues and proposals that we have submitted over the past months. And we will be gradually working on them, starting with the RPC error proposal that's sitting in the queue for quite some time, but we just had no time to really dig into it, to really implement it, because conceptually it's already done and written and fine, but it just needs to have some code behind it, some real code. So we'll be working on them, but keep in mind that it's summer now and probably there are going to be some vacations for people around. So I guess our progress is going to be a little slower than usual during this time, but eventually these things are going to be done, of course.
Hello everyone, this is Steven from Neo Global Development and Development Team. Here, it's my pleasure to represent what we are doing recently with my development team. The first thing is we are keep fixing and improving the Neo core protocol and do some bug fix, and also discussing in some pull requests and issues, work with other core developers and other team members together to push forward the Neo 3.6. And the second one is we finished the development of multi-signature web portal launch, and we are still on the testing yet, and we will make it public to everyone soon. The third one is the Jiuquan chain maintenance, which is a chain which is based on Neo technology but was used in China mainland, and there are some customers who are working with it, and we are doing some maintenance and do some bug fix on it. The next one is the Neo Hackathon. Some of you know that we are going to have a Neo Hackathon in the next 1 or 2 months, and we are preparing some documentation and website for that. The final one is we are investigating the EVM, do some investigation on it. Most of them focused on the layer 2 and sidechain, including the ZK and ZK EVM rollups such as Optimism and Arbitrum, and also the sidechain solution like the Polygon, and to see if we can have some layer 2 solution based on Neo as well. That's all we are doing recently. Thanks, guys.
Hello, this is the REE community for the Neo. This is the report, our progress report for the from the April to June, and I'm Jin Hui. In the past 3 months, this is the first quarter year of our community. We basically did the following few things. The first thing is that we established our website homepage, and then we wrote our documents, and we have the Oracle parts implemented and tested, and we also implemented the RPC module. So for the website, we designed and implemented the homepage of our website, and we also deployed it on the internet to have a domain connected with it. And we are also working on the dashboard for the Oracle, which is a list of the price feed that we can provide. And then we're also doing a few applications to demonstrate our Oracle services. And it's also working on the web page for it. And we have the document. We also organized our documents into the docs and have it online in the public. And we also added the reference to our website. Aside from the documents and the web pages, we also did a lot of work in the Oracle coding stuffs. We rewrite the contracts because the previous contract is just for demonstration. So this one we consider more about the security and gas efficiency things. So it's brand new small contract. We have it written, designed, implemented, and tested. And then we also re-implemented the node program with Rust to make it compatible with the new contract. In the meanwhile, we're also working on a few other demonstration applications, some loan contracts, exchange contract, and as well as the stablecoin contract. We're trying to demonstrate to the other audience and other users who is interested in our project. Lastly, we have our RPC RPC interface because we need to show the users how efficient our service is and how fast our services can get the data. So we plan to implement a dashboard and add it to our website. We have implemented the Rust code, which is in our Oracle node. Runs in our Oracle node. It's down, but the web page is still in progress. We also had the RPC interfaces for the SDK, but the SDK is still we're still working on that. That is the tasks we have done in the past 3 months. For the coming 3 months, we plan to do the following few things. First of all, we wanted to complete the dashboard and the applications web pages. Of course, add the contracts as well. And then we plan to implement a simple SDK for the first version. So we think it's gonna be it's gonna contain some simple functions. In the future, we will make it more. We'll add more functions to it. And we also plan to complete the DeFi demos because we have those applications we can show other maybe users or developers or projects to help them better understand how to integrate their services into our platform or how to use our platforms. And then we plan to update the homepage because the current one is not very shabby, I would say. So we needed to update it to make it more fancy. All right, that's the report for the past three months. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. It's a pleasure to reconvene and present our advancements from the second quarter of 2023. Today, we will be reviewing a report on the services we provided to NEO and its communities during this quarter. First on the agenda is our work on smart contract security services. This includes audits carried out by the RedProsect team, involving in-depth reviews of smart contract code and its underlying logic. This procedure identifies potential vulnerabilities, bugs, or flaws that might lead to security breaches, financial losses, or unintended consequences within Neo's ecosystem. Our primary objective is to expose and mitigate any potential risks before the smart contract is deployed. Apart from general security reviews, we have prioritized auditing the Perlin Finance project. The audit is now completed and we were anticipating the conclusion of their mitigation phase before we can proceed with our fixes review. We have actively supported them throughout this mitigation process. Here are the findings of the audit. We identified and reported 2 critical vulnerabilities, 7 high risk, 9 medium, 5 low, and 26 informative issues, resulting in a total of 49 vulnerabilities. Furthermore, Red4Sec has initiated additional security evaluations on certain communities. These evaluations involve preliminary penetration testing to discover vulnerabilities and potential security gaps in Neo's systems, applications, and its associated communities. So far, we have evaluated Neo, Neo Global Development, AxLabs, NGD Enterprise, Neo News Today, and Neo Next, with plans to extend this service to more communities. The primary goal of this assessment is to ensure that the ecosystem utilized by Neo users is safeguarded against potential threats. We have documented our findings, specifying identified issues and suggested remediations. Communities affected by any identified issues have received this document privately, and we have offered mitigation assistance. Also, in light of recent incidents within Neo, our team has been diligent in providing support and incident response, elucidating possible exploit paths of how the attacks were conducted. The results from these evaluations are as follows. We found and reported 1 critical vulnerability, 1 high risk, 5 medium, 1 low, and 9 informative, totaling 17 vulnerabilities. Moreover, given the recent security breaches in cryptocurrency wallets across various blockchain ecosystems, such as Atomic Wallet, Red4Sec has taken the initiative to examine the status of several prominent wallets in the Neo ecosystem, focusing specifically on the private key generation and management protocols. During these reviews, we detected significant deficiencies that demand urgent correction. The associated projects have been informed of these findings. So far, we have reviewed Neoline Wallet and Neon GIS, where we found and reported 1 critical vulnerability, 2 high risks, and 1 medium risk issue, for a total of 4 vulnerabilities. Now, let's delve into the details of the most significant vulnerabilities discovered this quarter, categorized by their severity. In summary, our assessments throughout this quarter have yielded the following results. We found and reported 4 critical vulnerabilities, 10 high risk, 15 medium, 6 low, and 35 informative, amassing to 70 vulnerabilities found and reported in the second quarter of 2023. Thank you for your time and attention. We look forward to collaborating and sharing our next report with you.